Greetings guys and gals, this is Jadong bringing you the best in esports, and today I have a mouse review for you guys. This is mostly going to be based on the Razer Deathadder, which I have here, and the Razer Abyss, which came in today, which I have plugged in right now. I'm also going to be reviewing two Microsoft mouses, which are the Microsoft Basic Optical in black, as well as a Microsoft USB Optical blue. So first off, just to give you guys kind of a sense of how big these mice actually are, this is going to be kind of hard to do without an actual camera. So these two mice are about the same size here, and in comparison you can see that the one over here, I know it doesn't look like it, but the Microsoft Basic Optical is quite a bit smaller than the Microsoft Blue USB, and the Razer Deathadder is like humongous. It's actually a little bit too big for my hands. My hands are this big. It's hard to get perspective on how big these mice actually are. But in order, Razer Deathadder the biggest, then probably Microsoft USB, then the Abyss, and then the Microsoft Basic Optical. So I'm going to review these in terms of tracking, style, feel, speed, and durability. I'm also going to go over the difference between an optical mouse and an infrared mouse. I don't really know exactly what it is, and I can't really tell, but a lot of people say that infrared mice track a lot better than optical mice do. I know that a lot of players in the Pro League and the GSL use optical mice still. A lot of them use the Logitech mini optical and stuff like that. I know that BC uses like the soccer or football version of the mini optical, so really just depends on preference. Honestly, I haven't, in terms of tracking, I haven't really seen a difference between optical mice and infrared tracking. So first of all, I'm going to be reviewing, we'll go from worst to best. So worst, we're going to pick up this one right here. And again, like my headset review, I'm not really going to say whether one mouse is better than the other, because I'm not going to show you specs, rather, is what I meant. I don't know why I was thinking of one mouse being better than the other, but I'm not going to show you specs because you guys can obviously look up. You can type in Microsoft Basic Optical and see what kind of specs they have. So here's this mouse. This is the Basic Optical, and the tracking on this mouse. Okay. If you've never used a gaming mouse, here's what I'm going to say about never using gaming mouse. The DPI, which I have no idea what that is, it's like how fast it tracks, is super low. It's like probably around less than 500. If you've never used a gaming mouse, you're not going to notice it. You're going to think this thing tracks fairly well, and it does for a basic mouse. It was around $16, I believe, so very good mouse. The tracking, not nearly as good as the gaming mice, which I'll get to later. So if you're looking for just a basic mouse, this one is very, very doable. I mean, not really that sturdy, but it does the job. In terms of style, it is a ambidextrous grip type, so it works with both your hands, just like that. And it's very comfortable to use, even though it is small. I use kind of a hybrid of the claw, or not the claw, the palm and the fingertip grip. So I kind of grip the mouse like this, where there's kind of a space where my palm is. But even then, you're able to. It's really easy to use, and I use it for StarCraft actually for quite some time, and I was really happy with it. Feels good. Speed, the speed is not there. I can tell you that increasing the speed in the game in StarCraft 2 might do a little bit. Increasing the speed on Windows might do a little bit, but at the same time, when you do stuff like increase the speed over 54, I believe, and increase the speed over 6/11, which is the 6th little tick mark out of the 11, a lot of people don't get that, but that's what that is. You lose precision, which is not what you want. So this mouse you can't really make faster than it is. In terms of durability, not the most durable mouse. I don't know if you guys can. Well, I don't know if you guys can hear it. You can hear it click, but sometimes it like. Did you hear that? It gets clamped up, and I've had this mouse literally for probably 2 or 3 weeks. So after some gaming, and I don't really game that much, probably an average of 5 games a day. Not really that much. Not really the most durable mouse. If you have the chance, I'd pick up something like this. over something like this. So this is not really the best mouse you can have. This is going back to my family, not going to use that anymore for anything. Now we have the Microsoft Blue USB optical mouse. It's a little bit bigger than the basic optical, and this mouse I really like a lot. It is a little bit bigger, has a little bit of a bigger hump in this part of the area. Tracking wise, it's almost exactly the same. Actually, it's a little bit better. It's honestly a little bit better than the basic optical for whatever reason. Don't exactly know what it is. It's old school, so when you use it, it's got that little red light that comes right there, which is the optical sensor. So it's kind of old school there, but it tracks very, very well. This was my mouse of choice for StarCraft Brood War and StarCraft 2. In terms of style, still ambidextrous, so you can use it for both hands. And I still use the same grip, which is definitely doable, even though it's a little bit bigger. It feels very, very good. I really like this mouse. I really trust this mouse. And in terms of speed, still going to be pretty much the same. Not going to be any faster than the basic optical. Yeah, it's not going to be any faster than basic optical, and not even close to any of the Razer gaming infrared mice. In terms of durability, this mouse has literally been around since I don't know. This mouse has been around for like 5 or 6 years. I've had this mouse for 5 or 6 years. You can kind of see. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little bit worn right here on both of these sides, but it works great, and I don't have any button problems or anything. I mean, this mouse has gone through hours and hours of gaming, and it's still good. So if you're going to go for a normal mouse, because I don't like Logitech stuff specifically, or HP stuff, or Dell stuff, and that's just my personal preference. I don't really have anything that's wrong with them besides my bad experience and just random preferences, I guess. If you're gonna buy like a normal mouse, go with the Microsoft Blue USB. Now we're going to go to the Razer Deathadder 3.5G. So this is like the upgraded version of the Razer Deathadder with 3500 DPI, whatever the frick that means. Have no idea. It does have a light on the wheel scroll right here, as well as a light up thing like this right here, which is really awesome. Ooh, move my mouse. In terms of tracking, you will notice the difference when you go from a normal mouse to a gaming mouse, specifically the Razer Deathadder and the Abyssus. I don't know about the 5G or whatever, all those other gaming mice, but you will notice the difference. It just tracks so much easier, so much faster, more precision, better, and it immediately improves your game. I know a lot of people say don't complain about equipment, but it really does. It's like going from a really good tennis racket to some $5 tennis racket. It's so much of a difference. It's a ridiculous difference. It's like going from a really good driver to like a wooden driver that they used back in the day. It's just like, it's not even close. It's just absolutely not even close. So in terms of tracking, very, very nice. Style, it is either right-handed or left-handed, as you can see. Kind of has that curve. Well, I guess it would be on this side. The curve on this side. So you have to either buy a left-handed or right-handed one. You can't switch them around. But it's very comfortable. It's just the fact of the matter is it's a big mouse. Not extraordinarily big, but at the same time for my hands, the bump in the middle, especially with the grip that I use, it's kind of gets annoying. It's just that bump in the middle kind of gets in the way because sometimes my fingers come up a little bit. It's not something that I notice. The only time I notice it is when I'm spamming at the beginning of the game. I don't notice in game or like in the mid game and the late game. I don't notice it. The mouse just flows through, and it's just super easy to use. So if you have bigger than small hands, I guess you should use that. It also has two programmable buttons, one right here and one right here. So you've got 2 extra buttons other than your standard 3-button mouse. Feels awesome, like I said before. Speed, like I said, it's fast. It's awesome. Has great precision, great speed. Durability, I can't really speak on terms of durability. I know Razer mice traditionally really aren't the most durable things. The Logitech are a little bit more durable in terms of customer response, I guess. I've had this mouse for literally like 5 days. My friend gave it to me to try out, so I don't know about durability, and neither the Abyssus, obviously, because that came out today. Finally, we're at the Abyssus. this mouse is... Oh, and by the way, the blue Optical probably run you around $20. The basic Optical from Microsoft, that black one, $16 like I said before. This is going to be around $50. It's like around $60, but I think on Amazon you can get it for like $40. And this one's about $50, but on Amazon you can get it for like $30. So that's that. In terms of tracking, exactly the same pretty much as the Razer Deathadder. The Abyssus has pretty much the same tracking capabilities. It's just in terms of style, it is an ambidextrous mouse, as you guys can see, and it kind of slopes downward. So if you guys can see this, there's a big slope down. Some people might not like that, but I do, because it kind of goes with the grip I use. It kind of goes with that hybrid palm fingertip grip thing that I use. So it's a very, very good mouse for that. In terms of feels awesome. Has that really I don't want to say slick, but anti-sweat material, I guess. It's like, I don't know, it's different than every other mouse material I felt. If you guys have ever felt up Razer mouse, then you guys will know what I'm talking about. In terms of speed, like I said, it's the same as the Deathadder. You guys can go look at specs on that. And in terms of durability, again, I can't talk about that. So that's my mouse review, guys. Hopefully you liked it. And just remember, there is actually a really big difference. A lot of people say there's no difference between gaming mice and normal mice, and there's no difference between keyboards, but there actually really is a noticeable difference between when you go from something like a basic optical mouse to a gaming infrared one. There's so much of a difference, and I want to emphasize that, because if you want to... Don't get it because you want to improve your game. If you want to improve your game, work on your micro, your macro. But if you want to make the game easier, if you want to make it more comfortable, go with a gaming mice. Don't go with a gaming mice and think that you're going to suddenly go move up to diamond. It might help that, but really it's going to be your micro, your macro, your build order, your in-game decision making and stuff like that. That's really going to make the difference, not getting a new mouse. It's just going to make it more comfortable. So that's about it for me, guys. Hopefully you guys will see me in the MSL finals, and that's about it. Lates.